Hi, my name is Respawn Fido, and this is my creative critical reflection for my movie opener, The Trip. I was a filmer, I was a director, and I was mainly the editor for this movie opener. The movie was about a husband and wife, Maddie and Nick, who Maddie was planning on going on a trip with her girlfriends, and Nick offered to drive her, so they start packing, they're going, and he reminds her not to forget her Bible, and she says, of course I will not forget, and then they get to the airport, she forgets the Bible, so he turns around and decides to bring it to her before her flight takes off, and goes into the airport and realizes that Maddie wasn't going on a girls' trip, she was actually meeting Tyler. She was cheating on Nick and meeting a man named Tyler and was going on a trip with him. He gets very angry, and he actually goes home and grabs a golf club and decides he wants to kill someone. And that's where the horror comes into our horror film opener. So getting right into the questions, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? Our product uses conventions, especially with the setting. We use many different settings, like, for example, the bedroom. We use that to help the audiences better understand that the relationship between Nick and Maddie, because at first you could assume that it was like a brother and sister or friends, but this helps them solidify that it's a husband and wife because they're in a bedroom together, they're packing, and we add a little dialogue in there to help people better understand. We use other settings like the car, the driveway, and the airport, and the inside the airport, just to help reader or the audiences better know what's going on. The prop is probably like the main convention that was like kind of like an icon of this whole film, which was the Bible. It really represented like irony because Nick initially wanted Maddie to have it, so she had gotten on her side, so she had a safe flight, so she was, keeping her morals on check, and of course she forgets it, and then sins, and then he realizes she forgets it, wants to make sure she has it for good morals, and it's too late, she's already sinning, and we're not meaning that because she forgot her Bible, she decided to cheat, but it's just like an irony thing, like she forgot it, and she was cheating, she was sinning. So that was like kind of the main thing that once you watch it and watch through the end, you're like, oh, that's kind of makes sense why she forgot a Bible. And characters, we just kept it simple, just 3, Maddie, Tyler, and Nick, so the audiences wouldn't get confused, and that was basically the main conventions. And social groups or issues, this was actually kind of a big one for us. We thought that this whole dynamic would represent like the selfishness in Western culture, how people are taking advantage of their relationships through social media, through phones, through traveling. It's so easy to cheat, and how people are doing it now more than ever. And we just thought that this would really represent what's going on in today's society, because this happens all the time. In addition, we use like women's role in the relationship mixed with domestic violence, because of course Nick was going to get violent at the end, because in all movies and all general stereotypes that the man is going to be the violent one. So we thought that putting that in just really represents, okay, they're being selfish, the woman's just being the one taking advantage, and the man's just violent and mean, and we're just trying to represent our society as a whole and how like messed up gender roles and all that are, because it's so painfully stereotypical that this was how it was represented with us. And the last thing that was like a social issue was the role of religion. Like, she can say she's holy, she has the Bible, they both read the Bible, they wanted to bring it, and then truthfully she was doing like going against a religion, which most people these days do. They're not following religion how it used to be. Our second question was, how does your product engage with audience, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? It engages with audiences because we don't make it painfully obvious what is going to happen. We make the readers stay on the edge of their seats. So with not really explaining what's happening, with the little bit of foreshadowing with the Bible and the golf clubs, because at the end he does grab a golf club and he wants to kill someone, we pack the golf clubs in the car to give it a little foreshadow. The Bible in the very beginning is a little bit of foreshadowing because he says don't forget it. when she has her phone and is deleting texts, it's foreshadowing. So you, as an audience, you can start picturing that in your head, and you can start kind of thinking about what's going on. But we don't like give a separate shot of Tyler, planning to cheat too, because we want it to be kind of left until the audience doesn't really figure it out, besides the little phone call in the beginning, until Nick really figures it out. So we thought it would be good and suspenseful. And the end, when he grabs a golf club, the audience doesn't know if Nick is going to kill someone, if Nick is going to hurt something, like hit his car. Like, it's up to the audience's imagination, because it's just the opener. So, it's setting a preface for the rest of the film, if there was a rest of the film. But it just keeps audiences on the edge of their seat and keeps them having to kind of think. As a real media text, probably just a short film. We think that it would work good as a short film. We could continue and make it a little bit longer, or just a whole movie. You could do a lot about this and figure out, like, if Maddie and Tyler left, what would Nick end up doing? Would he follow them? It could be a whole movie. Number 3, how did our production skills develop throughout the project? Oh my gosh, they developed so much. In the beginning, first of all, with the acting, everyone was so shy and jittery. We were all kind of awkward. We didn't really know, because we had the vision in our head, but how were we going to play it out? So, the acting wasn't a great thing that we were, like, trying to fix. We wanted to mostly work on, like, the filming and the editing, but the acting was, like, through the first couple scenes, everyone was kind of stiff, and then we started doing retakes and started, keep going, and everyone was kind of, like, having a better time with it. Filming, we learned the importance of, like, angles. Like, we had a couple different phones and a couple different people all over, and then I ended up cutting different spots together. Like, when Maddie was walking in and Tyler was getting in the car, we filmed those. Getting out of the car, we filmed those, and then we, like, edited them together, so you saw, like, both things happening at the same time. And we just thought, like, different angles. We refilmed a couple times, we saw what would look best, and we just put it all together that way. Editing, I, especially along with my group, learned the importance of background noises and background music. The first time around, we didn't include any of that, and then I ended up watching some of my peers' films as, like, a peer review thing, and I was like, I should do that. I was inspired by them, and I decided that I wanted to put that in. So I put in some creepy music and some sound effects on a copyright-free website. From a copyright-free website, and it honestly made it a lot better. How do we integrate technology, software, hardware, and online in the project? Like I was just saying, most of it was through the editing. I used Premiere Pro, iMovie, and Final Cut Pro. iMovie mostly just to put stuff together, and then Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro for adding things in. So, as for resources online, like I said, I use copyright-free websites, resources given to us by our teachers, my teacher, so we could add in the music that we wanted to really complete the film. This was super helpful because we didn't have to worry about, like, accidentally taking something online that we weren't supposed to, so I was really glad we had that resource. And also, another technology, we use different phones. We use multiple different phones, and we're able to airdrop them onto my computer because we all had Apple, which was really convenient. And so it made it really smooth, and I made sure through airdrop that I got everyone's different videos, and so nobody accidentally couldn't send them, or we couldn't get them on my computer because airdrop got them all. So those were all of my answers for our creative critical reflection, and I'm really proud with how our film came out, and I'm really glad I was able to make that as our final project. And it was a really good learning experience for all of us, and I know if I had to do this again, I could find so many things. I learned so much from it, and I could just really improve every time I do it, and I'm really glad this was our final project, and I really benefited from it.